So that's the beauty to kickstart a day like this. I'm glad that Nexus 2050 chose this topic to start with. We're going to discuss the topic of women in tech. And I know if you're in a room, you know this is a important or even crucial topic. So happy that you are joining the discussion. So I'd like to ask my speakers to introduce themselves briefly.
Okay, that's working. Hi, everyone. So I'm Véronique Ziliotto. I'm the founder of ellan. Ellan is a consultancy company for product management. So I advise startups and founders who are predominantly in the tech industry about all the topics of go-to-market and product management. And I'm very happy to be here to talk about all the different aspects of women and diversity in tech. And those are very, also important aspects to me. I also spent 10 years in Amazon where that was, very big topic. So happy to be here.
Thank you, Véronique. Ayumi.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I know it's early. I don't know if you had your coffee yet. I only had one. I think I need some more just now. I'm delighted to be here. My name is Ayumi Aoki. I'm the founder and the CEO of this organization called Women in Tech. We have headquarters in Paris, but we are in 54 countries around the world, including in Luxembourg, where we work not only with partners like ANDCO. We're excited to be here and to be launching very soon. What do? We try to empower women around the world in technology, in the arts, in the engineering sector. We work under 4 pillars: education, business, digital and social inclusion, as well as advocacy. And we have a very small target of empowering 5 million women and girls in tech by 2030. We've already done about 400,000 until today, so we still have a long way to go, but we're very proud of what we already achieved through educational programs, through mentoring, through accelerators, events, policy making, advice, and we are just getting started. So thank you for coming.
Congratulations. So I know that you have a journey to tech. I know Véronique, you study engineering. Ayumi, you're more for a marketing background. Can you tell us how you came to the technology world and how did you realize that mixity and diversity in this field is important?
So I guess for me, engineering was always kind of my passion. So I started my career in aerospace engineering, and I always loved science. I always loved technology. So it felt when I was like a student, it felt very natural to me. When I started my first job and then starting to be in the workforce, I realized actually how much the vision that we had at university about, equality and, like not making any differences between genders, started to get kind of shattered in the workplace. And so I think that's kind of this disconnect that really struck me when I was a young person, to see that everything that you kind of, you're being told about, equality, when you come to the workplace, you see some very different trends. So for me, it was always very important to pay attention to all those initiatives that we need to do to ensure diversity, in particular gender diversity.
Well, I started to something completely different. I was very good in arts at school, so I didn't know what I wanted to do when I left school. And my parents said, I just wanted to travel. And they said to me, you can travel once you have a degree in your pocket. So I said, okay. So because I was good in arts, I did fine arts, and I studied at the high school and university in South Africa. And so I did a BA in fine arts, so I did painting and sculpture, and also French literature. And then after that, I went to explore the world. Once I had the BA in my pocket, I went to work in Tahiti. I went to work in Alpe d'Huez, in France, in Morocco, in 10 different countries. And after I finished that, I said, okay, I love this. I want to go into hotel business. I came to France. I did a master's in hotel management. And I worked for about 10 years in hotel management. I became the director, comms director of this big group of hotels and casinos in France. And then at 30, 31, I had a midlife crisis. I said, what am I doing? No, where am I? What do I want to do really? Because all I did when you work for this kind of environment, at the end of the day was, how much profit you're making to a casino. And I didn't feel any values, and I didn't go with my core values. I said, no, I have to change. I have to find something else. And I decided to ask myself, what is it that I really want to do? And joining the dots, I said, well, I love being creative, so I have to be creative. I want to be traveling again. I want to be able to work anywhere around the world and also have more time with my children. So I said, okay, I have to go into coding. I have to go into tech. So I quit my job, my high-level career, and I started to learn how to code by myself. And that's how I started making websites and learning how to make apps. And it was also, back then, it was in 2008, beginning of social media for digital, for businesses. So I created my first company that was a social digital company. And then for 10 years, I really focused on growing my company, growing my business, and my family as well. Because when I changed jobs, I also changed husbands. I think, well, might as well do it all at the same time. And so when I had my fourth pregnancy, so I've got 4 children, I knew there were not a lot of women in tech, because even for me, for hiring developers for my company, it wasn't very easy, So I used to be the developer and then, have other creatives and stuff. And then when I finally gave birth, I was so exhausted because I had to stay lying down for 6 months, otherwise I would lose the baby. I wanted to feel inspired and, and go find myself more inspiration. So I went to Web Summit. I went to this tech conference in 2017. I knew there were not a lot of women in tech, but I thought that things were getting better. Come on, it's 2017. Things must be getting better. But when I realized that things were getting worse, that means that in the 80s and in the 90s, there were more women in tech than in 2017, I got really angry. I said, what are we doing about it? And realizing that when there were good initiatives that were being done, they were very isolated. Otherwise, there was a lot of talk, very little action, little, groups, individuals doing things around, a lot of community. And I love community network because I love going, drink champagne with friends, but that's not going to move the needle, right? So we had to bring something that's going to be global because it's a global problem, global challenge, so we have to find global solutions. Being a community, because that's what we have the sisterhood, and it takes a village to move mountains, but we have to be on the ground making things happen. So that's when I created Women in Tech.
Okay. Amazing. And I can only relate to your story because working in this field for over 10 years now, it's true that a lot of actions here and then, but the hardest thing about what we do, it's about sustainability, keep the momentum going. And it's amazing to be able to speak at events like this one, but what's happening between the events, how do you actually impact girls and women's lives? And if we look at the data and the statistics, sadly in Europe, things have not changed a lot over the last decade. We around 20% of ICT professionals who are women. In Luxembourg, we are average. We're not bad students, we're not good students, we're just EU average. So there is a large margin, there is a big opportunity to progress. And I'm also involved with a lot of EU projects, and as part of the digital decade, EU has targeted at least 30% ICT professional in Europe. So I think it's achievable. And we know that education is key. If you want to change the world, we need to work with young kids and young girls. So to the parents in the room, make sure that you spread the message, because still we are doing research work in Luxembourg in high schools. And a lot of girls, even in 2024, are telling us, my parents won't let me do IT, I don't even consider working in IT. The career choices or options which are offered to me are being a nurse, being a teacher. So often the girls, they will tell you later, I've tried coding in high school. I liked it, but I didn't even think it was a possibility for me. It's not on their radar. So we really need to change the mindset. It's a long journey, but I think initiative like yours, in addition to what we do, is the only way to keep things moving and to go in the right direction, even if it's a long-term plan. It's not going to happen overnight for sure. So thank you. We had prepared other question, but Véronique, I'm very curious. We didn't prepare this question. So you moved from space industry to Amazon, as you mentioned. You spent some time in Amazon, and then you decided to make the switch to a startup. How did you envision these changes? Was it easy for you to make these changes?
So I guess it was always based on opportunities. I spent about 10 years in Amazon. I was leading product teams, business analyst teams, and at some point I felt like a lot of the work I was doing was, like very big initiatives, obviously, but where you contribute to kind of a small portion. And what I was feeling like doing was really to have an impact that was more direct on things. And especially when you work into tech, one of the biggest motivation to do stuff is to build stuff and to build new stuff. And my motivation for moving to the startup world was really to feel about how much, during my day I can build and let's say develop versus all the other activities that you do in a big corporate, which are about, coordinating people, managing people, which are very important activities, of course. But after a time, I really felt like, okay, let's go back to building stuff. And I had the opportunity to join a startup as a chief product officer. At that time, the startup was about 10 people. So it was still the stage where, you go and you have a really big impact on the product, on the company itself. So that was very inspiring as a next step of my career. And once I was there, I thought, well, what about doing my own stuff? And so that's the part of the journey where I am, where I use all the experience and expertise I've gained both in Amazon, is really big corporate setup, and in startups to help companies develop a strong product function at the stage where they don't necessarily hire people to do it. So that's the kind of journey I am on.
Right, thank you. And I have to say, I'm very happy to have our two speakers because we are both partners. So we invite friends, but it's a more interesting discussion, I guess. And we are working with Véronique on training. We have several training at the Digital Learning Hub. I know you spent the last 2 days delivering a product management training. So if you're interested in following the course and benefit from Véronique experience, you can look at on y.lu at the Daily Age catalog and join our courses. And we're also launching a new project, MVP incubation. So we are looking for funders, especially women, of course, and we can provide assistance with developing an MVP. So we have resources to share with you. So if you are interested to also step into a startup journey, come and see us. We have our booth just over here around the corner. So please feel free to talk to us. We're here to help. Okay, so Ayumi, I'm just looking at the time. You're here in Luxembourg for the first time, I believe, with Women in Tech for the first time.
Yes, the first time, very first time.
Yeah.
And I saw already most of it last night.
Yeah. So and
I took the tram, I took the train, I saw the Place de la Mairie.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So glad you like Luxembourg. So you said your organization is already present in more than 50 countries. So I understand Luxembourg is one of the newest countries. Can you tell us more about your chapter and what you're planning to do? And I think we have also a video to share a surprise with our audience.
Yes. Well, we've got our director for Luxembourg here, Zineb. So I think she would be stand up, Zineb, say hi to everyone. So obviously our aim is not to reinvent the wheel. I think the work that you are doing and that other local partners are doing are incredible. So what we would like to do is obviously work together, reinforce the work that's already been done, and obviously also make sure that Luxembourg, the expertise and the women can also benefit from our global reach and reach new markets thanks to us and in partnership with us. We worked on this campaign, if you want to see the film. In fact, it's an awareness campaign with UN Women about I'm not going to talk too much about it. Maybe you can talk afterwards so you can see. It's called Beyond Ceilings. And if you play it, it's only 90 seconds. You will know what I'm talking about. Thank you.
So I'm just looking at the technical team. When you want to launch a video, let's go.
So I guess you know why it's called Beyond Ceilings. And we're very proud of this campaign. We filmed it in Georgia about 2 months ago. And we really wanted to show how, in fact, the glass ceiling that we talk about, it doesn't start when you are in a leadership position, when you're in professional. It starts from a very early age. Because the glass ceiling is what it is. It's like stereotypes. When they put you in a little box and they tell you that you cannot see beyond, right? Or sometimes you can say, yes, the sky is the limit. But, you know, the sky doesn't have the same height when you're a little girl or a little boy, where, you know, girls are there to be perfect and boys to be brave. So we wanted to the funny thing is, at the end of the film, we had 2 different endings, just like a Hollywood kind of setting, you know? So the end shot was very beautiful. It was a little girl, and she was walking. It was like in the sunshine. And, you know, we had like those big grooves, you know, with the videos, and then the sky opened, and she looks up, and everything's beautiful. And so that's how I wanted the ending to be. But looking at it, it was like too much of a Barbie and like a happy ending kind of stuff. And that's not the truth, because the ceilings are still there. So we kind of feel super frustrated. Oh my God, why is she going back to bed? Is that the end? Unfortunately, today, this is where it is right now. And hopefully, very soon, we're going to be having other campaigns where we're going to see how this ceiling is getting a little bit higher every time, and how we're going to be breaking through it with the help of all of you.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how you manage to combine your interest in art and with the work you do at Women in Tech. And I know that putting a video like this is such a big job. So, you know, you must be so proud. So congratulations on
we had a very good
on doing
team.
this. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bravo. I'm looking at the time, and I know that you probably want to join the main room for the Prince Guillaume. So we're going to be just right on time so you can move smoothly. Our last question was to our speakers, since you are women in tech, and we see that all roads leads to tech. So you can be an engineer, change industry from space to retail to startups to education, or you can be an artist, then move to marketing, then move to tech. So it's amazing to see all the things that you can do. If you had one piece of advice to share with a woman in a room today, or with a mother or father, you know, who wants to give advice to a youngster, what would you say to them?
I would say just reach for your dream. Know what your dream is, what it is that you really want to do. Like what it is that triggers you, that you would do even if no one paid you for you to do it, but that drives you and gives you energy and gives you happiness and makes you. And if it's anything to do with tech, go for it. Or even if it's nothing to do with tech, go for it as well. I'm just saying, know what it is. And then once you know what it is, make sure that you can verbalize and communicate what your dream is with others so they can help you achieve it in a much faster way and in a much better way, right? If you can go faster and longer with people around you, it's always good. And I would say, and this doesn't have an age, whether you're a 5, 50 or 75, you can change your path and you can find new dreams every single time. And you mustn't be limited to what people say, what you can do, what you cannot do. Right now, I just started doing a DBA, a PhD, because when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. So I started doing data science and doing qualitative and quantitative research. It's very hard, but I think we can do anything we want, and it doesn't matter what age, whether you're a girl or a boy or people of all genders, we can all have it.
Okay, so do it with passion. This is what
Yes. Have fun while doing it.
That's important. Véronique.
For me, I'm a mom of two young children, and I think as a parent, what is important on the daily basis is to have all those discussions around gender stereotypes. So as you are saying, it doesn't start in the workplace. I think I heard the first stereotype from my kids when they were about 4 years old about this is for boys, this is a toy for girls, it's not for boys, and vice versa. And I was very surprised because we don't have, obviously, those discussions at home. And so I realized that when your kids, from the moment they start to go to school, they're going to be put into this mold of, if you're a boy, you do X, Y, Z. If you're a girl, you do A, B, C. And so as a parent, you have every day, you need to have those discussions with your kids to challenge what they're telling you. And to try to figure out what's behind that, who told them, what's the context, so that you can explain them in a very simple and very friendly way that, well, actually, that's not the case. There are no toys for girls or toys for boys, even though when they go to supermarkets, that's clearly the distinction which is made. But yeah, so you have to kind of create a culture where actually to tell them what you see outside of, at school or when you go outside of home, that's not the best thing for you. And so it's kind of a counterculture that you have to create. But I'm hoping that over time things, at least for them, are going to be much better in this sense. So.
Yeah, perfect. So educate the girls and the boys. It's very important. It's not
Both
only
of
a
them.
women issue. I know when I look at the audience, it's sadly it's always like this. It's 90% of women, but it's also a question for everyone. It's very important to say it. Well, I think we were able to share very important messages today in a quite a short time. Thanks for joining this first panel. I hope that you're going to have an amazing event at Nexus 2050. We are hosting a second panel on a very important topic, financing women entrepreneurs. Is going to be at the same stage, 11:55, I believe. So hope to see you there. We still have 2 minutes, so if you want to talk to our speakers, feel free. And we see you later, and also see you at the White's booth if you have any question regarding this crucial topic. So thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
And thank you, Véronique and Ayumi.